I try and show people that Boston is like a pretty cool fucking city. The people that like shit on this city, you just don't do it the right way.
Yeah.
And like Boston's nightlife sucks. It's not. First of all, it's never going to be Miami. It's never going to be Dubai. It's never going to be New York. Boston was never that kind of city to begin with. It's like a small town city. It's not a sprawling metropolis that never sleeps. It's just not that. The food in the city is amazing.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, there's no Michelin star restaurants. Who gives a fuck about the Michelin star? I don't give a shit about a Michelin star restaurant. I do not care. Do you know what Michelin is, by the way? Where that term came from? People don't realize. Michelin Tires ran it as an ad back in the day, like ranking seriously like nice restaurants. Like if it was a 3-star Michelin restaurant, it was worth going that far. Like if you had Michelin tires. If you go into a Michelin star restaurant, it's going to be a fuckload of money for a plate of food that's the size of my cell phone.
Yeah.
And like, I'm good on that. Like, no thanks. A bunch of shit I've never heard of that I probably can't even tell if it tastes good or not.
5-syllable words.
Yeah, a balsamic duck lardon reduction on an ostrich egg with a side of like Mongolian broccoli. I don't give a fuck about any of this shit, dude. I just want a good steak and a couple sushi rolls. I don't give a shit about what you're talking about.
We're simple. You know?
Yeah, man. The best restaurants execute simple shit.
Yeah.
Mommy, this kid's from Providence and he's on TV.
Godzilla is so fire.
Yeah.
What's going on, party people?
Yo, my peoples.
Welcome back to another E&A episode.
Welcome back, everybody.
We got Boston's finest in the building with us right now.
Massachusetts finest. I gotta be real specific with that. Yeah,
Right.
Definitely a suburb, guys. So just so people don't get in the fucking comments. Massachusetts finest, if you want to call it that. Sure, we can go with that, definitely. Yeah. What's up, boys?
Born and raised in Mass?
Born and raised in Massachusetts, yeah. I've been here all 33 years of my life.
Nice.
The only time I lived somewhere else was maybe like 5 years ago. I lived in Johnston, Rhode Island.
Oh, shit.
With a buddy of mine for like a summer.
Okay.
That was about it. Yeah, that was
Johnston's
it.
nice.
It was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, Rhode Island's cool, man. Like I enjoyed it. I mean, everything is obviously within close proximity. It's not like a huge state by any means. But good food.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, like, I don't mind Providence. I think I rated it like, what, a 7.1 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have no problem with Rhode Island.
What made it a 7? Why not like an 8? Or
The thing is, it's really small.
Yeah.
Like very small. It's maybe what the size of like Worcester.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's not that big. Traffic is brutal in that city. I don't like the traffic cameras.
Yeah.
The food's fantastic.
the traffic cameras get me.
Yeah,
man.
the traffic
Oh
cameras,
my
they should be
God,
illegal,
yo.
honestly. Like, it really should.
Facts.
I think the food is great. I just don't know that I know like the Providence Mall is dope. I'm a big mall guy still because I'm 33 and that's what I'm used to. But I don't know. It's just, it seems like a good amount for the size that it is. But because it's so small, the sense of wonder can only go so far.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's no professional sports. You got to think of that too.
That's true, probably.
Like, yeah, it's just, and again, it's not a slight on Providence. It's just a very small city.
Right.
That's all it is. So I think they get the most out of what it is. And
I like where it's kind of situated between Boston and New York.
That's cool. Yeah, it's like it's cool, man. And like Rhode Island's a beautiful state. It's just nice. I think it's a perfect like 7.1 city. Like you can touch on the strip clubs. It's another big thing too.
Yeah.
Which is fun. So that's which is I shouldn't say which is fun. That makes me sound like a fucking weirdo. Cut that. Which it makes it funner, I guess you could say. There's really no cool way to say that without me sounding like an absolute loser. So, but yeah, it's just Providence is a cool little city, man. Yeah. I've enjoyed the couple times I went there for sure.
Yeah. What city are you from?
I'm from Georgetown, Massachusetts. I'm not from a city at all. I'm from a town. Yeah, definitely. I want to emphasize that. The town in Georgetown is very literal. I'm from a town of like 7,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So put me on the map. Where is that?
All right. So you're leaving Massachusetts. You're leaving Boston, sorry. You're going north on 95. We following?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Up to New Hampshire, but like the Hampton Beach side, kind of.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So 95, you're going north. You know where Newburyport is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Top, like, right corner of Massachusetts, sort of, you could say.
Yeah.
There. I'm, like, on the way there. I would say we're, like, the midway point or the 60% point from Boston to Newburyport.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Halfway from Boston to New Hampshire.
Gotcha.
That's, like, where we're at. We're in the middle of, like, you heard the Topsfield Fair?
The town what?
The Topsfield Fair. Have you guys heard of the
Topsfield
Topsfield
Fair.
Fair? All right, so it's a huge county fair that's up the North Shore on the Topsfield Fairgrounds, shockingly enough.
Yeah.
And it's
I might check that out. Is that in the summer?
It's in October, the first 2 weeks of October. It's a blast. The fair's awesome if you go up there. It's cool. You guys are probably more familiar with the Holyoke Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Topsfield Fair's a little bit funner, a little bit more family oriented, little less chaotic, and you definitely won't catch me, by the way, at the fucking Big E. No offense to the Big E, but I am not.
Thank you
I'm
for
sorry.
saying that.
I am not gonna get smushed like
Oh
a
my
sardine
God, bro.
in a fairground.
I just can't, bro.
Like where is it? Springfield?
I don't fucking like it. Everybody
no
talks
offense
about,
to
oh,
Springfield
this
at all.
is that.
Springfield has nothing to do with Springfield.
Not at all. I
It's
love
just
Springfield.
It's just like I'm not condensing myself into that. The lines are ridiculous. It's crazy.
The whole concept. It's kind of an expo, really.
Yeah,
it's not
it is.
really
It
like
is
a
an.
fair,
It's not a
bro.
fair. It's an expo. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's not a fair. When you go to the fair, the Topsfield Fair is the fair. That's a fair. You're there. There's rides and shit.
Yeah.
People selling fucking fried dough.
Yeah.
A lot of fried shit in general. Fried Oreos, fried mac and cheese bites, fried fucking hot dogs, fried chicken, a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
No, it's not a very vegan friendly environment, but whatever.
We love it.
Yeah.
We're here for it.
But it's a matter of like, like the Big E is like an expo, and I'm just not driving 2.5 hours out to Springfield, Massachusetts.
Trying to sell you shit.
Yeah,
trying to
I'm good.
Like,
I'm good on
fair,
that
yo.
shit. Yeah, and then people get rowdy as hell at that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm just not. It's not my scene. I don't think I'll ever be at the Big E unless I can take a helicopter there and like land in the fair.
Yo.
That's it. That's it. If you can get
Under
me
quarantine.
If you can get me Uber Chopper out to the Big E, you might catch me there.
Uber Chopper, yo, that's the most right there.
I've never even heard of
That was a
that.
thing for a while, by the way.
Really?
Dead ass, it was. Yeah, absolutely, it was for sure. Yeah, it was years back. I don't know if it still is, but it was in like New York and shit, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. If you had big money, you could take an Uber Chopper somewhere.
That's nuts.
Yo.
Yeah.
What is it like? What was it like growing up in Massachusetts? Like
In Georgetown, Mass, like Georgetown was a real cool place. It was a nice place to grow up, I should say. It wasn't like it was like this hustling, bustling metropolis, but like, a lot happened in a place where it felt like nothing happened. Like, you remember all this little like cast of characters and people you grew up with, and I didn't have like a great social experience by any means. I was very inconsistent, like as far as like who I was fitting in with and who would kind of like stop fucking with me and who I'd have to go find like to hang out with again. And then there were some constants, but not a ton. It was very, very, I hate to say cliquey because like high school is cliquey. People just go where they're comfortable, but very kind of like two-facey as well, Not always the best experience. I felt left out a lot. Felt like I got a lot of shit for no reason. And mostly that was just because I was always like putting myself out there.
Yeah.
And I was like more of an outgoing person.
You were unique. You know what I mean?
I tried to be. Yeah. I mean, not that I tried to be like consciously tried to be different from everybody,
Yeah.
but I just had kind of a different personality
Right.
that translates well now. To like small town Massachusetts high school from like 2007 to 2010. Great era to be in high school, by the way. But I choose to remember the positive shit.
Yeah.
I don't
Absolutely.
like to hold things people did or said against them when they were 15, 16,
Right.
14 years old and even younger than that. I don't like to hold that against people. It does not. It would do nothing for me to do that. I would just be like, being a victim my entire life. It's like, okay, I might have been. I hate to use the word victimized back then, but if people are picking on you and saying shit and fucking with you, like you are kind of like a victim in that sense. But like, I might have been then, but like I'm not now. So it makes no sense for me to sit here and act at 33 years old when my life is in a great place and I'm very lucky to have the life that I do to sit here and act like a victim. That's how you just
fuck with it, bro.
Yeah, that's how you get nowhere in life doing that.
Exactly.
And you end up just sitting there waiting for life to give you back what you think it owes you, and that's just never going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Until you sit there and look at yourself as an adult and be like, I can handle my own shit, and I need to do so. So that's kind of how I've always chose to look back on childhood. A lot of fun moments, a lot of funny stuff, a lot of good people, and I choose to remember that. There were a lot of the opposite.
Right.
A whole lot of the opposite.
Yeah.
But I choose to remember the good shit, and I choose to, like, bank on, it's maybe to a detriment.
Yeah. Well,
I always try to look for I try to look for the good in people. I don't like to be cynical like that. And even if people are maybe half and half, you try and emphasize the good parts and get what you can out of those,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're here because we want our viewers to also get a little bit of a chance of who is this guest with us today. Tell us a little bit more about what you do, what you devote your time to, what you're dedicated to.
Right.
Yeah, so my name's Marc Lewis. I've been doing content since 2012.
Shit.
And we now just hit it. We've been full time for 4 years now.
Wow.
I love your content, man.
Hell yeah.
And
that's
to your crew, if you
hilarious.
guys are watching,
man.
you guys do amazing work.
Yeah.
with
I
him.
feel like you're just naturally funny, bro.
I try.
Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah, I try to be. I've been doing content full time for 4 years now. I've been doing it since 2012. So we just came up on year 13.
Wow. Hell yeah. Congrats, man.
And I was a middling waiter in the meantime for the first 9 years before I hit it in this shit.
Where did you wait?
Huh?
A waiter, you said?
Yeah, I was a server. Like I was a waiter. I was bounced around to just like a year here, a year there. I was not a great server by any means. I was like average at best.
Yeah.
But it was something I didn't hate doing until I made it in this, and I always told myself, this is what I'll do until I make it, and once I do, I'm not going back. And I haven't.
That's
Which is
amazing.
nice. Yeah, so because a plan B is a plan to fail. If you
Right.
have another plan, like I always ask people that want to do content, I go, so what are you going to do, like if this doesn't work out? Well, maybe go back work for my dad's company. Okay, so you're already not cut out for this. I can tell you that right now. You're not cut out for this. It's if you have a fallback plan, a plan B is a plan to fail. I don't want to hear like, well, it's just responsible to have a safety net. You can't live life with a safety net, man. No excuse.
You got to be very forward thinking.
You can't have a safety net if you really want something that you want. If you're fine with just working a regular job,
like
bro,
that.
good for you. Like that, nobody's holding that against you.
Yeah.
But the whole like independent entrepreneurial like content creation path and like the entertainment business is not for you. You have to give yourself no choice but to succeed.
It's really cutthroat.
Right.
Yeah, it is cutthroat, and it's very much the next man up, and it's very much keeping yourself relevant, finding new avenues. I think I've done a good job at pivoting at different times. I've always been somebody who I feel like can pivot well. If I see videos aren't hitting the same, whether that's just an algo thing, because my views will dip sometimes. That's just part of a social media algorithm. They're not just going to bang every single time.
Yeah.
Unless you're one of these huge people on the internet. That's
Right.
different, right? The baby puts out a video, it's going to do like 3 million views. He's got
Right.
25 million.
12 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Wild.
Right. It just is, right?
It's
A guy
fucking
like
crazy.
me who's got a decent like size, like, more localized following.
Yeah.
I've tried to mix in just the life advice videos. I've tried to mix in like the true crime stuff, which is Massachusetts centric, but stuff like that.
I like watching that. I like watching that.
Thank you. Yeah. And shout out to Dave's Hot Chicken for making that whole segment.
Oh,
happen.
yeah. Shout out.
Yeah,
Dave Hot
they've been a great sponsor of mine for a year and a half.
Nice.
I just had another sponsor for a long time bail out with a week before I got paid. But we've recently found a new one, Audi Cote. Shout out to him.
Shout out.
Shout out to Audi at Injury Money on Instagram and at AJ Moscone, or Not Guilty Boston, I should say. He changed his thing to now. He's the criminal attorney who just bought on as a sponsor with me as well. So
Nice.
that's the thing with this business, man. If you lose a sponsor or something like runs its course, you got to go out and source the next thing. I
Real shit.
negotiate all my own things. I don't have an agent. I don't have a manager.
I respect that.
So I've kept myself a full-time content creator for 4 years now.
Wow.
With
Nice.
no representation or management. I do this all myself.
Wow.
You do workshops?
No, never, nothing. I never did a course or
Wow.
like. No, I hand out the free game.
No.
People
I mean
ask
the
for it.
other way around. Have you given workshops to like help people?
Oh no, that's what I thought you
Okay.
meant.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I thought you meant.
Okay.
And no, well, still, no, I have not. No,
Okay,
no. I thought you meant it the way you rephrased it.
my
Yeah,
bad.
but no, I haven't. I'm sort of taking on, I don't want to say a client, but he's a guy I met last weekend, my guy Ben de Betancourt. He's a Martha's Vineyard guy who is, his dad passed away 4 years ago, and his dad always wanted him to get into social media. And he's finally got the resources in front of him where he's able to make a move and start making himself as a creator. So he's coming up here this weekend.
Nice.
You're going to see a lot of content with him. And I'm kind of he's like the first person I'm sort of taking under my wing, trying to like, have him access to my platform and seeing what I can do with that. And he's a cool dude so far. It was a lot of fun last weekend. And I try and show people that Boston is like a pretty cool fucking city.
It is, no, because it is.
People that like shit on this city, you just don't do it the right way.
Yeah.
And like Boston's nightlife sucks. It's not. First of all, it's never going to be Miami. It's never going to be Dubai. It's never going to be New York. Boston was never that kind of city to begin with. It's like a small town city. It's not really like it's not a sprawling metropolis that never sleeps. It's just not that. So if you know how to do it the right way, the food in the city is amazing.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, there's no Michelin star restaurants. Who gives a fuck about the Michelin star? I don't give a shit about a Michelin star restaurant.
Yo, I've
never been less interested in going to anywhere, but I'm like, I could not give less of a shit.
I'm such a tourist, man.
Yeah, I
go
don't give a shit about a Michelin star restaurant. I don't care. I do not care. Do you know what Michelin is, by the way? Do you know where that term came from? People don't realize. Michelin Tires ran it as an ad back in the day, like ranking seriously like nice restaurants to let you know like if you bought their tires. I might have this a little bit wrong, but the gist of it is correct. Like, if it was a 3-star Michelin restaurant, it was worth going that far, like if you had Michelin tires. That's why it's called a Michelin star restaurant.
Okay.
There wasn't some guy named Jim Michelin in a paper somewhere that started writing a column on, like, sick restaurants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how Michelin, like, came to be, like, the term. But, like, again, if you go into a Michelin star restaurant, it's going to be a fuckload of money for a plate of food that's the size of my cell phone.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm good on that. Like, no thanks. A bunch of shit I've never heard of that I probably can't even tell if it tastes good or not.
5-syllable words.
Yeah, I don't need like a balsamic duck lardon reduction on an ostrich egg with a side of like Mongolian broccoli. I don't give a fuck about any of this shit, dude. I just want a good steak and a couple sushi rolls. I don't give a shit about what you're talking about.
We're simple.
Yeah, man. The best restaurants execute simple shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so top pizza in Boston.
Top pizza in Boston. What kind of pizza do you want?
Thin slice, greasy, cheesy.
Oh man, this sounds like if you want a greasy slice, you like shitty cheese. That's what pizza grease comes from shitty cheese.
Oh really?
Yes, yeah. Yes.
Wow.
That's why if you see a greasy ass pizza, it's probably on like a shitty Greek pizza, right? Yeah. And it's loaded with grease and it's too much cheese on it, right?
Holy shit.
That's because the quality of cheese they use is dog shit.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, it absolutely. Think about it. It's filled with a bunch of bullshit, and when you heat it, it emulsifies, and it it disperses.
Well, give me your top 5 pizzas.
I love Pastoral.
Okay.
Where are they?
Pastoral is on, I believe, Congress Street. It's in Fort Point, technically, which is like a new neighborhood. It's not a new neighborhood, but people live there and there's businesses now, so it's worth mentioning. It's like that neighborhood that's between the Seaport and Southie.
Got you.
By South Station.
Okay.
So Pastoral for like Most on Providence Street, also another phenomenal Neapolitan. If you like Napolitan pizza, like fancy margarita pizza with like the drops of the mozzarella and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like those two were like some of my favorite.
Yeah,
this
those
is the
are
city
good.
of Boston. I would also say shout out to Waleed. Nicole's in the South End's got a great pizza. Shout out to my boy Waleed, great guy. Another guy, Waleed, you would expect a guy that's as connected as he is and makes the moves that he does and works with people that of his caliber that like he does. He works for Kevin Hart, Mark Wahlberg, and shit.
Wow.
And he's always bringing. You see him at this. He's got floor seats at the Celtics. He's there all the time.
Wow.
Jack Harlow comes to town. He's with Waleed. Waleed's a fucking cool, real cool guy. He's been very good to me.
Wow.
He's a good friend, man. Waleed's the man. Yeah. So it's cool when you meet a guy like that. And he's actually like a cool ass dude, not like a cliquey asshole.
Right.
Waleed's cool like that. Shout out to Nicole's Pizza in the South End. That's his place.
Fire.
I would have
that.
to say before it closed, I gotta say, there's some places in Southie that also do like the fancy pizza, but I'm trying to think of just like a piece of like American pizza. Kelly Square Pub in East Boston, that is technically still the city, obviously, right? Yeah. That's a phenomenal pizza.
Okay.
Pleasant Street Cafe in Roslindale.
I think I drove
that
past
place
there.
is gas. It's got the glass on the windows still, like the thick
The
glass
original,
cubes.
yeah.
Yeah. That place is gas. I'm not a fan of South Shore Bar Pizza, even though that has nothing to do with Boston. I'm just not. It's like a smaller Greek pizza. It's better than Greek pizza, but bar pizza, if you look at Greek pizza, you look at bar pizza, a bar pizza is literally just a small condensed version of a shitty Greek pan pizza. So the bar pizza is absolutely better, and some of it's good, but I'm just not like all in on it. I would say Pastoral is probably my favorite in the city, definitely. If you like just like a fancy, I don't know of too many other like American style pizza places that are like in the city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of places do what?
This guy, it's hard to find a good pizza spot for him because
I'm very picky, man.
Yeah.
I'm really, really picky.
You're from Worcester, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you like that place, I Heart Frankie's?
Where? Frankie's Pizza. Yeah.
It's decent. Yeah, the place is decent. I've had it before.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like it's whatever. But what was I gonna say? I didn't try too much other pizza in Worcester, but I heard there's some good spots out there. Tentorno. What's it called?
There's not a whole lot.
There's an Italian named place that I heard is pretty good, and I'm trying to remember what it's called. But if I was going to pick my favorite American-style pizza in the city of Boston, it's Kelly Square Pub in Eastie.
All right.
So we gotta
check
try
that.
No, we definitely
We'll do a review on it.
Do it. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's dope shit. Absolutely. Oh, I got to throw Sant'Apio's in there a little bit, too. Sant'Apio's also Eastie. Not like my preferred style. It's very heavy. Very heavy. You could almost fork and knife it if you wanted to.
Wow.
But Tarps is cool. I got to be in the mood for it, but I do like Tarps, the Eastie location. Peabody's cool too. But yeah, that would be my answer for the pizza question in Boston for sure.
Dope.
Besides pizza, what are like your go-to restaurants?
Oh, Moo in the Seaport is
general.
fucking phenomenal. If you like a fine steakhouse, man, like Moo is fantastic. Grill 23 is everything that you think it is. Everything you've heard about it is it's like you go there and you're really like, damn, this is like a high-end steakhouse restaurant. Like this place is unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anytime you can get to Grill 23, if it's in your budget and you can afford it, don't ever tap yourself out money-wise to go, like, enjoy food. If you really want to splurge one night and you can do that, do it.
Right.
But Grill 23 is unbelievable. The Banks is a great place.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yep, the Banks is awesome,
video,
man.
yeah.
That place is great. I want to shout out Sonzi, Newbury Street. Those are my guys as well. Love Sonzi. What's another one? I would have to say Blue Ribbon Sushi so far is my favorite sushi in the city. That's in Fenway.
Okay.
Love that spot. I could go on and on about the Italian spots in the North End. I got to shout my family's restaurant out.
Okay.
I do like our food. La Familia Giorgio's, Salem Street.
Okay.
Bro, we gotta check that out.
Hell yeah, we're going
That's
to.
my aunt and uncle and my cousin's place. They've been there for 35 years. Yeah, because I'm 33, so they've been there for 35 years.
Wow.
Yeah, holding down Salem Street. I love a place like Chow Roma's phenomenal. That's the toughest res in the neighborhood. If you're thinking about that, and Mama Maria, I believe, is the place across North Square from it. Those are the two of the toughest reses in the North End. And but you have accessible places. I mean, Strega is Strega.
Yeah.
Strega is the spot to be, arguably in the city, let alone the North End. Nick Verano is essentially family to me. The guy's an unbelievable guy. Nico, his son, has become a great friend of me. Marina's amazing as well. His daughter, his wife is great. They treat me so well in that place. You never know who you're going to see in there. It's a who's who of who's going to be in there. Like when Mariah Carey comes to Boston, she goes to Strega.
What?
Oh, shit.
Justin Timberlake comes to Boston, he goes to Strega.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's if you go in there and just look at like the Wall of Fame.
They have pictures?
It's crazy. And I got to give Massimo a lot of credit too down at Aria, down the end of Hanover Street, man. Massimo does an awesome job with that place. He's a good dude, man. Been a very friendly guy. So the North End's awesome. Those are some of my favorite spots.
Yeah.
Moxie's is a fun date spot. Beautiful location down the end of the Seaport. That's probably my favorite Seaport place. And if you're looking for late night food, which everybody always is,
Yep.
Stubby's, Seaport, right next to the Grand. The Nantucket Boys are open have been open there for a while. It's a Nantucket-based place.
Okay.
Great. Just good food, late at night. It's open till like 3.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
It's the late night food, man. Really is a huge thing if you're gonna have a city.
Yeah, it's hard to find.
There's gotta be good
Facts.
food late night. You know.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely.
That's funny.
Awesome.
We're definitely going to check out some of those spots for
Please
sure.
do. Yeah, let me know how it was, man. Absolutely,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. What is something that you know? Oh, that guy's from Massachusetts. Like, What makes a Massachusetts a Massachusettsian?
A Massachusetts person, like
Yeah.
just a Massachusettan.
Yeah, besides like they're driving, because we know the driving.
No, I
is
mean everybody
terrible.
talks about the driving, man, but it's about like I feel like you have certain like barriers that you go through. Like
Yeah.
I'm not traveling to the South Shore to visit anybody family wise. I've made a video about that in the past. I'm not. If you like live in
Yeah.
Rockland, you might as well have died.
Yo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna see you. Like I'm just not making that drive. I'm not doing it unless it's a Saturday afternoon, maybe. But like I'm not. If you're a family, you need to like pick a shore or an area and just stay there. If you're a Central Mass family, you're not coming west to like Norwood. It's not happening.
Wow.
You need to
Norwood.
stay in Central
Yeah.
Mass or whatever would be like the halfway point or the cutoff point from Central Mass
Yeah.
to like everything else.
Yeah.
You live in Pittsfield. Congrats on being a Pittsfield family. You can't once you leave the Western Mass, you've exiled yourself from the family as far as I'm concerned. You might as well
Moved
live
across
in,
the
you might as
world.
well have been like I'm moving to Portland, Oregon, and we're gonna like set up shop here.
Yeah, 'cause
That's it.
Yo.
I moved to Florida.
Yeah, it's too far.
North Shore. I'm not. If it's like west of I don't know Lowell. See ya. Not doing it. Like it's not happening. You live in Marshfield. Situate might be the furthest you can. Like it's that's what you need to pick. You live in the
Yeah.
Cape. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. So it's yeah. It's just like that's kind of what like traveling barriers.
Yeah.
I would say is definitely something that defines Massachusetts people. I think that if you can't like talk sports as a Massachusetts dude, I don't know what else you like do. I don't know what else you do. What else do you do when you're like what do you do? What else do you have to like talk about with other? I don't care about stock options. I can tell you that much. Like I'm good on that. Like no thanks. Like a record collection that you have. What else are you really going to talk about? You have to have some sports take or some knowledge to like go in with. I don't know if like how you function otherwise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are you deep into like French cinema and that's what you want to break the ice on at a bar with a bunch of dudes? Like I don't know, you're dating a girl, she goes to meet you go to meet the family, and it's a guy that's like, yeah, I don't know, I love the silent film work of Cecil B. DeMille. Like I don't know what you're gonna talk about really. There's got to be some kind of sports fallback. This is the best sports market in the country. It definitely is. Like not even close.
Dude, look at the championships the Celtics have.
Yeah, but it's great. Yeah, and it's just everything, man. It's
Bruins.
everything revolves around sports here. You need to have like a sports in your back pocket. Yeah, and then to be honest with you, I think you have to have like 3 restaurants that you will routinely like rotate going to. For like different, you have to have a Chinese place. You got to have like regular American food, and then like one fancy spot that you like you step out into like every now and then.
Right.
North Shore people, that's Polana.
Okay.
Or Daniela's, like that's what that is. Maybe like post 1918 and shit like that. Again, North Shore people, your spots are probably like your Chinese food places like Kowloon, Su Chang's, and like green tea. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then what was the other thing I said? Just like a regular American food.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're in Lynn, like Tony's Pub, the Lazy Dog. If you're like more Saugus area where I live, like the 621, places like that, you got to just have like your regular spots that you can go to.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah.
Definitely.
You said you've been doing this for 13 years.
I have.
That's incredible.
Oh, thanks.
That's like incredible.
Thanks.
What have you learned over these years? Like, what is it that keeps you going?
It is always about the people that are willing to grind, the people that are willing to put shit out to absolutely nobody for an extended period of time, and emphasis on the word extended, and go nowhere. And that just keep going and going and going. You see people pop for a certain amount of time and then they run out of ideas. And they have nothing to keep going with. They're out of ammo is what I call it. You need to always be reloading that gun, metaphorically speaking. And always be, like, again, pivoting at the right time, trying different types of shit. If you're going to branch out and work with another creator, it needs to be the right fit for you, not just because they're bigger and you're going to absorb some followers and stuff like that. It's also more about, I've always prided myself and my presence on my own like platform and shit with like interaction. Okay. Look in the comments, look at the shares, stuff like that. That's when you see people who really have shit that people want to send to other people for whatever reason, or want to comment on and like leave a take or a compliment, or even like, I guess some people leave hating shit, like whatever, it is what it is. But that's where, like, look in the comment section.
Gotcha.
And that's where I've always prided myself, is that I have parameters. Like, if I know a video gets 1,000 likes, it's a good video.
Yeah.
Like, it performed well.
Yeah.
If I get something over like 75 comments, that's good. And some videos like get the likes but don't get all the comments.
Gotcha.
Some get both.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then some, I just look at it to scale based on views. I have some videos that only do like 20. No, I say only, and that's another high class problem to have. I'll do a video that does 25,000 views and be like, all right, that was technically low for me. That's the best video some people put out all year, if they're lucky.
Right.
You know, so that's like a thing where I've had to ground myself. It's like, if you put out a video of like a 25,000 view video.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just showed your video to TD Garden at full capacity for a Celtics game, like a sold out Celtics game.
Oh shit.
Same amount of people.
Wow.
That's so that's how I've chose to look at it. This is
That's
true.
a good view.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's like, don't beat yourself up if, like, I used to beat myself up and be like, oh my God. Like, every now and then I'll post a video that does like 15,000, which is not, by my, metric standard isn't great, but like at all, it's actually like the floor.
Yeah.
But even still, when you have a stable floor, when your floor is high or reasonably so, again, to scale.
Right.
That's what you should bank yourself on. Yeah. And if your interaction continues to be good, it's a matter of time before a video pops.
Right.
Very true.
Definitely.
You got to stay consistent, stay the race.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think a lot of things you just got to look at it differently. So like you can't move how the other person moves, because your content's not the same as the other person's content as well. And then like it's just that view is perfect, man. And I think if that standard that you keep, it just keeps, you gotta keep elevating it, So that's why if you see like a video that's 25,000, whatever, So that's a good mentality, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
Great mentality. What's some advice that you could give us?
You guys?
Yeah.
I think it's about where you want to build. You need to focus on where you want to build. In the beginning, you can kind of put out anything and just wait for one thing to hit, and then if one thing hits, you can roll with it. But if I were you guys, I would try and stay like, have some kind of like Massachusetts essence, New England essence in this podcast, because those clips are going to be what gets you guys. That's going to be the most broadly appealing thing that you put out.
That's true.
It is, What do you guys think like the gist of this show is?
So basically,
is it like two guys talking shit, which is fine? I'm serious. Like,
so we started
experiences. Basically got to a point where we were getting a lot of calls for a lot of different gigs, and we would end up in the same shows. So we figured, we should do a podcast, and start interviewing people from the people that we gig with, basically all the artists in this area.
Okay, cool.
Locally,
so we kind of combined. So we started there, and then we kind of like broke off into like food reviews, because it kind of also gives another experience where
people love talking about
the
food,
music,
man.
the
conversation
food,
point.
the art, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what we've been highlighting so far.
Yeah,
okay.
We're trying to make it basically like a lifestyle podcast where it's literally about anything. Like we want to do an episode that's about cars. You know what I'm saying? Get into that type. Just different outlets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So who are some content creators that you enjoy?
Oh,
I was
gonna ask.
I gotta shout out. I mean, it's the easy layup here for me is Tommy G, of course. Tommy Marino.
G.
So my dad and Tommy's dad are like high school best friends.
Oh wow.
So like and Tommy's like a generation younger than me. He's like 8 years younger than me, kind of my sister's age, maybe a year older.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. But anyway, Tommy's my guy. I could say like family. It's a different kind of relationship though. Dude means a lot to me. He's been a great just like friend in general. I mean, outside everything, I'm there. I got his back no matter what. And it's funny how I hadn't seen him in a long time until like his TikTok started to pop, and I'm like, oh my God, like I haven't seen Tommy since he was like younger. Just kind of that thing. I was obviously a lot older at the time, and now I'm 33. He's 20? I don't know, 425, whatever he just made. So it's funny how it comes back around. Obviously, like Prosciutto, I got to meet through Tommy, but I actually knew Prosciutto's brother Louis, who's in a lot of the deli skits.
Okay.
He's the guy with the beard. He's tan.
Probably.
He plays a lot of characters, like in the front of the counter, like talking to them.
Yeah.
Louis the man. I've known Louis since, I don't know, 2009.
That's awesome.
Long time
Wow.
ago.
Damn.
Yeah, long time.
Real bro chachos.
Yep.
But that's funny.
Him,
funny.
those two guys.
Yeah, his content's
I've gotten to know Everyday Maggie fairly well. She's great in person. You know what I mean? She's awesome. So I got to know her really well. She's really cool. Ian Brownhill is also awesome. And those are just some people that I really have been lucky enough to. I mean, coincidentally, they're like the big people in the it's. There's really not a lot of people that make content in this market. There's like 5 of us.
Wow.
There's like 5 to 7 of us maybe. So, but yeah, I would say like Tommy and Prosciutto are my two main go-to guys. Absolutely. I don't know Ian and Maggie as well, but I like them as people a lot. You know what I mean?
When did you know you had this niche for this?
I knew I always wanted to be an entertainer. My whole life, that's all I was going to do, and I was going to find a way to do that. This is just an avenue for me to do that. Intervention did pick up a producer. The pilot has been picked up, so the pilot will be filmed probably. Yeah, it's great.
Life is
So Wright's
good.
going to finish it. Yeah, I wrote the pilot.
Wow.
That's going to get, we're probably set to film the end of March. I would say we have a couple roles left to cast for the pilot.
Yeah.
But as soon as that happens, man, we're off to the races. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm excited for this. This is my first venture into TV, scripted television.
Wow, we're excited for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And this is I wrote myself into the lead role. Don't care.
Yeah.
Because I said fuck it. I'm not going to bother. Why bother auditioning and doing all this shit when I could write something good for myself and just do it just me.
Exactly.
So that's been the staple of my whole career. My whole career has been just me. I don't owe anything to anybody.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody put me on. Nobody, even like close friends like a Tommy who I've known his whole life, right? Like we make it a point to not do a lot of stuff together. We very much have our own things that we're doing and stuff like that. We never wanted to. Obviously, him and Prosciutto are like a tag team, anyways.
Yeah.
Like they started doing things together right off the jump, right? So that's different dynamic.
Yeah, exactly.
But me and they kind of grew at the same time.
But I respect that.
Yeah, they kind of grew at the
their
same
own
time.
grind.
They had their own thing. Even like Prosciutto has his own thing with the food and like cooking and stuff like that.
Oh, sure.
So like he has his own lane, absolutely, aside from what he does with Tommy. So I never got a big feature from like an Instagram account. Nothing. None of that. I built all of this myself. That's why I always said like I'm never gonna reach the point in my life where I'm gonna be like I wouldn't be where I am if this person didn't like put me on or anything like that. Nobody put me on. I put myself on to this point at least.
I respect it.
So to get to the next level, I mean maybe somebody does, but to this healthy point in my career, just me.
Right.
And I've always kind of like had that in my back pocket and been very like held that in high regard to myself.
Yeah.
So absolutely, yeah.
What's something that you want to be remembered for?
Remembered for?
Yeah.
Being authentic. That's really the first thing, is being authentic. I've never been one of these guys that I put Massachusetts in everything for a reason. I never wanted to be one of these guys that was trying to be somebody who's not. I like to be able to, like when people meet me in person, approach me in public or whatever, and they're like, you're kind of the same as you are on video. Good.
You really
That's
are.
what I want.
So true.
That's exactly what I want. That's the
Yeah.
image I want to portray. It's not an image at all. It's just me.
Right.
Exactly.
So, and it's easy when it's just you.
Right.
We love
when
it.
you're putting on a show, like playing a character, so to speak,
Yeah.
it's work.
Right.
It's way easier to just be yourself. As like lame and cheesy as it sounds, it's true. Like, don't bother, trying to. If that's what you want to do, you got to be ready to commit to that at all times.
Yep.
For me, I was like, nah, fuck that. Like, I'll just be me. But yeah, I did always want to be. I always want to be remembered. I would say for being like a normal, level-headed dude that like was just being himself, like a down-to-earth, normal, regular person that happens to be good at this one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, or several things, hopefully. You know what I mean?
Right,
But
right.
like, yeah.
And I think like what you leave behind too, like your video, all your content, that's gonna stay on the internet forever. As long as we have internet, it's gonna stay.
Sure,
on the
yeah.
internet
I
forever,
hope it sticks
forever.
around. Yeah, no,
So-
yeah, man. I still think we're still such in the infancy of what social media is right now and how it gets documented and the possibilities and everything like that. The money that's in the industry is fucking crazy. Getting it is difficult, but when you do, it's nice.
Right.
And Yeah, that's basically, that's kind of what I wanted to be remembered for. That's kind of what I want to be looked at as, is that, like I said, that guy that was just a regular person. That like when you meet me in person, it's the same exact guy you see in videos and stuff like that. And yeah, that would be that answer to that question for sure.
Oh yeah. Do you plan on doing? You said you wrote a pilot. Do you
Yeah.
plan on doing that more consistently?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Intervention is going to be one of 6 episodes.
Okay.
They're storyboarded out right now.
Oh, shit.
Which
So
is
it's
great.
official.
So it just comes down to me writing. They're half-hour episodes. The pilot's about 25 minutes.
Wow,
30
that's
minutes.
a lot.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So the finale will be an hour, and the plan is to utilize as much local talent as possible.
That's dope.
I love that. We
yeah,
respect that.
definitely. Yeah, I do. I've always made it a point to reward people who deserve it.
Right.
Because I remember being overlooked for a lot of years, and I remember people not wanting to throw me a bone or anything like that. So I try and give it back whenever I can.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we had Ripe or Rotten in here, which is a thing that So Ripe does. They come in with a bunch of independent artists. You pay to buy a ticket. You submit your music, and if you win, they give you like a free 2-hour studio session and a music video by us.
Wow.
So we hook it up.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then second and third place are their own thing. And like the one night I was a judge, and I don't want to be known for like charitable shit. I'm not like that kind of guy to advertise it. But I was like, there was 2 other people who didn't win, and I was like, dude, I'll pay for like an hour for each of you to go in the studio if you want.
Wow.
Because that's what I'd like to be known as somebody who like rewards that.
Yeah.
Because I know what it's like to kind of get overlooked for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was grinding social media when it really wasn't this big thing.
Right. 2012.
It wasn't like this thing at all.
Perfect.
Really, like there was.
Changed.
Yeah,
Really
content
bad.
wasn't even a word when I started doing this. It wasn't even a phrase. It wasn't something that people said.
So it was a
So
good time for you to start creating content around then.
not really.
not
No, it was.
really.
It was, but like it wasn't at the same time because there was no like. It was so hard to get going.
Yeah.
But you were for instance, the people that posted up on YouTube like early on because they stayed on.
Oh,
for so
yeah,
long,
yeah,
they
yeah,
picked up
yeah. Oh,
all
there's
those- 'cause
people
they
that-
were
yeah.
unique in that time.
Like people
there
think
wasn't
that
a
like
lot of that one-off
right.
video.
So people think that like how into content are you guys? Do you guys know who the kid like Neon is on Kick
Yes,
and like
yes,
Sneeko and those guys?
yes.
Those guys have been on YouTube for years now.
Yeah.
Kick just kind of kicked them into like the IRL world and got that whole thing off, which I'm still very much in the middle on.
Yeah. Twitch now.
Yeah, I'm very in the middle on all of that shit.
Really?
Yeah, like not in a sense like I think like a lot of them are insufferable. If I'm being completely honest with you, like
Gotcha.
I don't like the way that IRL stuff is like conducted most of the time. I'm not a fan of like going out in public and fucking with like store employees for content and shit like that.
Yeah.
Or like this Jack Doherty kid who like instigates shit behind like security guards and stuff like that. Like I hate that shit.
Yeah.
I'm from a different
It's over the
generation.
top.
You couldn't do that back when I was a kid, and like you can now, and that definitely pisses me off.
It's
I don't know the
allowed.
kid personally. Maybe if I met him, he's a nice kid in person, but I don't like generally what he does with content. Not to like just shit talk a random person, but I'm just saying
yeah.
in terms of like IRL content. Some of it's cool and some of it's not. But that's anything, I guess.
Yeah.
There's IG people that are just trolls online.
Yeah, that's it.
and that shit drives me. I hate that shit. I think
Yeah.
it's just like
No life. Yeah,
I think
it's
it's just
like-
disrespectful, rude bullshit. And I mean, it's like a no talent thing to me. Like you have nothing else that you can do creatively to like make people want to interact with you.
Yeah.
Other than just like harvest negativity.
Yeah.
And if you are harvesting likes, it's from other shitbag people who are amused by that.
Yeah. Facts.
So
Yeah.
that's my little diatribe on like some of the state of some, a sect of content
Yeah.
on the internet right now.
And there's always gonna be people like that too.
Yeah, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
It's going to exist forever. And I don't partake in it. So that's just how I sort of, navigate that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I saw that you had pictures with like I think it was a Celtics game, or I think
Yeah.
Porzingis. You had a couple of pictures with celebrities. Like you just randomly meet them.
No, I
Or
mean,
they-
it's a lot of like your network, like the network and
Okay.
stuff. And like, if you do the right thing by people, the right people will always
Connections.
connect and stuff like
Yeah.
that and help you out with that stuff. Again, a
dope.
lot of that's Nick Verano. That's Waleed.
That's dope.
That's the big time guys, like So Ripe guys that brought people here on their own, and it's been unbelievable with what they do with Ripe or Rotten and the hip hop scene and all that shit.
Yeah.
J1 was here. That's Jada Kiss's son. He's the man, talented guy.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the man. Dave East is like the homie here. He's an awesome
what?
guy.
Wow.
Dave's a really cool guy. His people are cool. He's a good dude.
That's freaking
OT the
awesome.
Real's been here a bunch of times. Great guy. Everybody who's done Right But Rotten have been. Nino Man was awesome.
Wow.
That's another one of Jadakiss's artists. And I got to shout out Mills, man. Millie's a great dude.
Oh, Millie.
Millie's a cool ass guy, man. I've gotten to know him fairly well over the last like year and a half, 2 years, man. Mills is a great dude. He's good shit. It's funnier than people think. Like you would think. He's actually got like a great sense of humor. He's funny.
Yeah.
The dude Summit from Worcester. I don't know if you're hip with him. He's a little bit smaller, kind of getting going and stuff like that with his career. But he's here all the time.
That's awesome.
Putting the boys to like he giving the guys work and stuff like that. And he's just a great guy. He's a real good kid too. But we've had a bunch of people here that have treated this place great, and So Ripe, they do an unreal job. We keep it all in house. You see the sets, all of our lights, all their
amazing.
lights
Yeah,
on the
we saw
thing.
this
Anything
whole setup.
by the way, they built this.
Wow.
That's built. We didn't buy that. Like they built that shit.
That
Like they
frame?
go to the
God
Home Depot
damn.
down the street. I'm talking and like
shit.
buy 2x4s, buy plywood, buy
No
sheetrock,
shit.
paint,
Wow.
caulking, all of that shit. They painted all of this. They built that fucking the tinfoil room over there
That's
and like
what,
the stuff.
yeah, we were eyeballing that.
That's there in the back. They built that Ripe or Rotten set for people to use. So that's like the typical podcast desk. There's another recording studio that they just built out over there that they took over from the previous engineer.
Yeah, we took a
and then
peek.
you got the other studio that you see in there. That's the main room. So like they're always doing shit. And I think people are really going to see like us as a collective like get on the map. I mean, not get on the map. Dom just won Videographer of the Year.
Holy shit.
So Tange just won Videographer of the Year at the BMAs, the Boston Music Awards.
Holy shit.
So he's the guy. That's the guy in the whole market. Tange is the guy. That's the guy whose title it is to lose next year. And that's my dude. That's one of my closest friends, man. Dom is the fucking balls. Violets and Shot By are also like great. Like they're great friends. They're awesome guys too. And they pivoted. They're my podcast crew.
It's like they're all connected.
Yeah, so they're my podcast crew now. So they film Shut Up Mark. They travel. It's all mobile. Yeah, they don't fuck around, man. They got challenged with something new and they've succeeded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's great, man. We got a great thing going here.
Yeah.
And it's all based out of right here. Maybe someday we're in a much bigger space than this, but this is pretty big.
This is pretty
This
big.
is pretty
man.
big,
This whole
man.
facility.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ripe or Rotten is done out of that corner, and then there's all people just filled in here.
Wow.
We had like, I want to say they sold like 45, 50 tickets last week.
Wow.
Think about a group of 50 people just standing here. It's like a lot, you know what I mean? So they do it the right way, man.
That's awesome.
You know,
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
where do you want to see it in 5 years?
me?
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
I'd like to be a leading man in film. Like to be a lead. I want to secure at least one lead role in a film. I don't care if it's like the worst movie of all time.
Right.
I want to be a lead actor in a film.
Dope.
That's my goal. I'm 33, so I'm hitting into like. Also, it's great because like, the other thing I want people to realize about my career is I know I mentioned when I started doing this and how old I am now. Like I said, I'm 33. Nobody knew who I was until I was like 30 years old. Think about it. So don't sit there and put like a time limit on yourself. When it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. You just have to like do the right shit until then.
Be at the right place.
Be
at
there
the
at
right
the right,
time.
yeah. And it's like, and it's that's just showing back up over and over and over again, and with nothing and nothing and nothing and nothing, and just keep going, man.
And you get better as you go. The truth
Yeah,
is,
it's
you
true,
keep
man.
going
Yeah,
at
it
you
is,
just
man.
get
It's
so
true.
much
You
better.
know, so like I said, bro, like nobody knew who I was until I was like 30 years old. I had no presence on social media. I went nowhere until 30. Like, that's how it was. And I had to blow up on 2 different platforms.
Wow.
Because originally TikTok, which I deleted like 6 months ago, I just got sick of the app.
Yeah.
Sick of the way, like,
Algorithm.
spam accounts can steal your videos.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
they wouldn't verify me, so there's like 7 fake Marc Lewis accounts on there now.
Holy shit.
It's mad. Yeah, it was mad annoying. And then like the algorithm is like, it gives you this false sense of pop.
Yeah.
And then it takes it away, so you keep posting,
That's
and then
right.
it'll feed you just enough.
Yeah.
And I've seen some guys that like I see on. I ended up going to Instagram, and it ended up being like great. Like I'm at 150K now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I deleted it at 188K.
Wow.
So like TikTok, I'm saying. So I had to like do it on 2 different platforms.
Yeah.
So IG has just been the way better platform. The brand money's better on there, by the way. And brands don't put a ton of money into TikTok for a reason. It's not a reliable algorithm. So I would TikTok. I don't miss it at all, man. I don't miss it at all. Instagram goes up and down a little bit sometimes, but that's just social media.
Right.
You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Right. Is there any other shout outs you want to shout out before we close?
There could be so many. I'm trying to think of who. Really, just the So Right Boys. All those guys, Dom, Violets, and Shot By. Guys like Nick Verano, guys like Waleed, Nico Verano, Marina. Just people that have treated me really well. The people at Moxie's, all the guys at Big Night Live, Scott Heigelman, Randy, Joe Mazzi, Tim Benito, those guys that I've known forever, like Jeff London. Jeff, you're so fucking old and still in nightlife. I mean, God love you. And I'm breaking his balls. Jeff's a fucking awesome guy. He's the best. He's such a good dude. And those guys, just the people that are also up there, in the social circle that like embraced me and treated me really well. Thank you to them, because it would be very easy to gatekeep and not be generous with their network and connects and things like that. And they chose to do the opposite. So I try and follow those same footsteps. So those guys, definitely. And obviously guys like Tommy G, Prosciutto, those are my guys. Just great dudes that I love, and we get a great relationship, and it's a valuable one. And content, it gets fickle, it gets weird sometimes, just like anything else in the entertainment industry. So yeah.
All right, man. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely. I hope it was what you guys were looking for.
It was that and more.
I hope so, man. I hope it was worth you guys coming out here. Thank you guys for coming out here for this.
Follow Marc Lewis on Instagram.
Yeah, thank you. And I hope my people, when I share some of your clips, story, whatever, that they do the same to you guys. I trust that they will. So
absolutely.
I'm glad. I hope it was worth you guys all making the trip out here.
Of course, man.
So that's all I can hope for, right?
We pray for prosperity over your business, your branding.
Thanks,
and stuff.
bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys
keep going.
You win. We want to see you win.
Thank you.
Yeah,
if you guys need
going.
anything from me, advice-wise or anything like that, you guys have my number, man. Just hit me up.
Hell yeah.
You got it.
Hell yeah,
Absolutely, man.
Thank you.
Sounds great. Hey, great episode.
Yes, sir. We out.
It's golf clap for everybody on the set. Yeah.